Hi, I'm Chris J. Reed, and I love to share books I've read, business books I've read, particularly about being an entrepreneur. And I'm in Hong Kong here, as you can see, and Hong Kong is full of entrepreneurs, full of founders. In fact, when I did a quick search on LinkedIn, out of the 1.5 million people on LinkedIn in Hong Kong, 33,000 of them are founders. 33,000. That's a lot of founders. And I picked up this book at the airport. Really, really good. Read it on the plane. Absolutely fantastic. So in a couple of hours, took some practical tips, and it's called Dear Founder, called Letter of Advice for anyone who leads, manages, or wants to start a business. And it's got some really practical tips, and basically what it does is basically it gives you kind of a letter, Dear Founder, and it basically gives you advice, it gives you kind of empathy and experience about what happened to him and how he solved a problem, for example, how he overcame a challenge, how he saw an opportunity, how he took the business to the next level, kind of what issues he went through, what challenges he went through, how he actually scaled the business, what it's like to, for example, get investment. So he goes through things like SMEs, startups, how you go to startup, what's your idea, what's your passion, what's your purpose, how do you take it to the next level, does it have scale, SME, and then look at things like hiring, your first hire, your second hire, sales teams, how you commission sales team, for example, compensate sales teams, employing a rock star, for example, and then what happens when the person's wrong, how you fire people, for example, when you should fire people. And then he talks about kind of being a multinational, how you scale in terms of boards, how you get funding, valuations, what kind of people you want on a board, for example, what kind of people you want to invest in your company. So it's really, really good practical tips of that. And then it's little things like, success and failure, how you judge both, how you measure both, how you deal with success and how you deal with failure. As an entrepreneur, you're dealing with these things all the time. It's fundamental to your business. You know how one or the other, you've always got challenges. My favorite part of the book is when it talks about synchronicity. I'm a big believer in synchronicity and making synchronicity happen, making chance happen. So he talks about things, for example, like going to networking events and being very focused on networking events and saying, okay, I'm going to dedicate my time to meeting these people at this networking event for this purpose. Then I'm going to leave serendipity time over here, where I'll meet people by chance and I'll talk to them and I'll broaden my sphere of influence. That he's a big believer in sharing. So basically he's talking about when he had meetings with people, he would actually go beyond the boundaries of the references of that meeting and talk about the challenge he had. Because every time he did that, people helped him solve the problems of that particular challenge. Said, oh, I have a solution for that. Oh, I know someone who can help you with that. And if you don't share your issues and problems as a founder, no one can help you. So you have to share amongst similar founders, amongst other people who are entrepreneurs, for example. They might have the same problem, or they might have the solution to your problem. Then he talks a lot about, for example, PR, negative PR. I'm a big believer in any kind of PR is great PR. And he's talking about the fact that if you get negative PRs, he talks about that very practically in the book. Basically how you deal with it. And he also talks about the fact it's better to have negative PR, then at least people care about what you do, and I believe in that. People are even passionate enough to basically put something kind of negative out there. You can learn from that, and I'm a big believer in that. Take that criticism on, take it to the next level. Don't take it to heart, don't take it personally, it's just business. And then kind of how you take it to the next level, how you go forwards from that. And the fact that actually you can learn a huge amount of lessons from PR, both good and negative. You don't want to just be having good PR all the time, because then you start to believe your own hype. So it's good to actually bring you down to earth every now and again and make you think. And this book makes you really, really think. It's got some really good practical tips there. Talk about a lot about things like delegation and feedback, how you work with people, things like an open door policy, which I always have for Black Marketing. Anyone can talk to me anytime, any of our 35 employees, for example. Things like balance. Great analogy of the fact that balance, when it comes to being an entrepreneur, we have no balance. I work 7 days a week. I work, every single hour and every single minute that I possibly can do. And obviously put strains on your relationships and your family, for example. And he talks about things like crystal ball versus bouncing ball, which is a fantastic analogy. So the crystal ball is a once-in-a-lifetime thing that you can't miss, which if you drop it, it smashes all over the place. You can never go back. Or a bouncing ball, which the things happen all the time, which it comes back bouncing. So you think you can miss that, or you can miss one of those, and it won't matter because there'll be another one coming up. And the balance you have as a result of it. He's also talking about picking your battles. So he talks a lot about kind of picking your battles and saying, okay, is this my sphere of influence or my sphere of concern? Because it's your sphere of concern, then you can actually get concerned about it, but you don't spend power and time and focus on that. But it's your sphere of influence, then you can make a difference. You've got to really pick your battles. What can you win? What can you not win? You've only got so much time, so much resource, so much money, and so much influence. Where are you going to spend that? Where's the win going to be? Then he takes you through kind of being a CEO, the CEO journey. I'm a CEO. Every founder out there is a CEO of some kind. What's it about? How do you take it to the next level? What happens when the CEO outgrows the company? What happens when the company outgrows the CEO? Often he gives examples, for example, of people owning 50% of their company, but being ousted by their board. You know, their board, he talks a lot about the board, the makeup of the board, non-executives of the board, who you want on the board, for example. And he gives some really, really good analogies about that, about how you want people who don't want to be on boards, you don't want to spend all that time worrying about your business, but give you valuable insights based on their experience, which is a great example. He talks about how a CEO, is great at founding things often, but not very good at kind of leading it to the next level. So you need to bring in professionals in to actually take it to that next level, depending on where you want to go. And he talks a lot about things like succession, for example, and planning for that. He talks a lot about things like scale, how you go up that level, and valuation, how you make an exit. And ultimately, it's every founder's dream to actually sell their company, to actually go on to the next thing and actually bank the money and go on to do something else. That's the dream of every founder, every entrepreneur. But as we know, most startups, most entrepreneurs fail in their ventures. So this book's absolutely fantastic if you are a startup, if you're running an SME like me, or if you're a multinational, you're running a multinational, it's your business. How to take it to the next level. It's got advice for every single person. So I really recommend this book, Dear Founder, by Maynard Webb. Excellent book.